teachers, maybe the job role itself is one of the most, are in a position, have the maybe profound power of influence to help others, to help the students. Thinking about, like, you know, all of the parents, they will send you or entrust you their baby boys and girls, and they have great hope for their next generation, and we're the one, it happens to be that we're the one who build up the hope and confidence for all of the children to face, the challenges and everything in their life. And so, talking about education, you know, it's not about market, it's about the problems that we confront with so far. In China, we confront with like some problems, but three main issues I would like to maybe address over here. One is the lack of resources of good teachers, okay, not to mention high quality teachers. And of course, in China, not only the good teachers, hard to find, but also, we're lack of teachers. You know, 1 to 40, 1 to 80, like what I said yesterday, you know, we don't have enough teachers. So sometimes, like places like Tibet or places like in Mongolia, actually we can find teachers to teach over there constantly. And one more issue is that sometimes when we have students in class, hardly for us teachers can like equally spend time on each student. So all of the challenges we have, so far, will help us to try to discover new way or innovative way to solve all these problems. And right now for Squirrel, we have 2,300 learning centers nationwide, accumulated about 2 million students. And of course, as per AI algorithm, data itself is very important. So, but talking about data is not something we imagine. It has to be like things or behavior actions really happen in class. So I would like to introduce a little bit about our like AI tutoring system. It's a collaboration of, with human and AI. It's not only AI in class. Like what I shared yesterday, AI system can do without teachers, but we don't encourage that because we need more advanced technology to help us to be a smarter teacher and then work more easily and let the learning be more efficient and effective. So in our system, the AI algorithm will do a better recommendation on what to learn and how to learn through different tasks or pathways. And we have through the scanning of the students' strengths and weaknesses, so we will know how to help the students. And of course, AI plus education we can go into adaptive learning, which is more personalized, which means that all the diagnosis and analysis will be focused on person, this person, not only the data analysis only. So I will explain later on. And talking about human parts, the teacher training nowadays regarding AI, using AI system in class will be very different. So our training for teachers will focus on not only learning the new techniques. Learning the new techniques is only for maybe a very short of time. And at the very beginning, you have to know how to master all of the techniques. But later on, you will work together with the AI system. So AI has its role in class, and our human teachers has our own role in class. So it's a collaboration. So for human teachers in class, we have to take care of the feelings of the students. Are they lack of interest So are they sick, or do they have any, problems with their daily lives? It's not only about learning. We all know that everything happens around the children actually affect their teaching after all. There are 4 features I would like to share. The first one is that through the AI algorithm, we will try to discover and understand more profoundly about the strengths and weaknesses about the students. So the first one is the knowledge points scanning. It's like, doctors, they have to know, what's wrong with you. So sometimes we will judge or trying to analyze the students from our experiences, but allow me to say this is quite limited, all right? So through AI algorithm, it's like a scanning, so we will know, what's good or bad, the students, the situation. So using a minimum time to get the higher accuracy about understanding and the mastery of the knowledge points of the students are very important, because by doing this, we know what to provide to the students to learn. For example, we might be very good at one knowledge point, but if we don't know that, we will keep providing the same knowledge points learning to the students. It's a kind of waste of time. I will always use an example, if once you can learn how to ride a bike, then you don't have to learn how to ride a bike anymore. So we don't waste time on keep learning the same things, keep repeating the things that we know already or we master already. So we have to go back and trace out what's wrong with me. So what's my weaknesses? So I have to pick up the knowledge points, and so I can have a thorough understanding about what I'm learning. So providing suitable learning content, sometimes it's a very good concept, but what do we mean by suitable? So we have to use the algorithm, AI algorithm, to see, because everyone has different strengths and weaknesses, right? So we have different ability in solving different questions and problems. So one thing about is that whatever we provide the students to learn have to cope with the ability accordance. When I say ability accordance, for example, I'm a student at level a 50 out of 100. And then if the system provide me a level degree of 90 out of 100, then that will be too difficult and too challenging for me. So sometimes the students will just exactly give up, and maybe they feel, they don't have hope, I can do it. So we will try to provide maybe 10% more or 10% higher challenge for the students. So by giving them a possible questions for them to solve. And then they will build up, by doing this, we can build up more confidence for the students, and maybe they would like to try and to go on, continue to learn. So this is kind of like a building block approach, gradually we let the students to build trust and confidence on keep on learning. And of course, the goal itself will be dynamic. It's not a fixed goal that we have to push the kids to achieve. It's that we will always adjust or adapt, the learning content for the students to learn. So for each student, they will have different learning content in one class. And one more feature about our system is that we will have a real-time monitoring about the students during the process. It doesn't matter 30 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours of learning. Whenever they're online, the system itself is monitoring the whole learning behavior every second. But talking about analysis report, learning analysis report, we will have different segments. For example, for each segment of each maybe 2 hours class, we will have 10 minutes or 15 minutes section. And then after they finish 10 or 15 questions, the system will generate a very simple report about what they have answered right or wrong. So according to the report, we will see the errors the students have made. And then the teachers can figure out why or the students cannot master. And the students can practice again about what they have wrong answers. And then, because of the knowledge state will be different, right? Because every student will have different, learning result. And then the system itself will adjust again about how they did, during the test, or what they, what's their result about their answers. And so the learning process will be like it keep changing. It's dynamic. So the content itself will be adaptive, and also, the learning path will be different. Also, one thing very important, the learning pace. So everyone has different pace about learning one thing. So talking about time, they spend on each, section will be different entirely. So if we go into class to observe all of the learning for each student, you will see different content, different paths, and different speed, okay? But how teachers can monitor all these, we have a teacher's dashboard. So it's all working together, okay? And then, in order to maximize the efficiency and effectiveness in class, so we will keep adapt all these. So this is kind of like different learning strategy, providing to the students and also providing to the teachers. You can always judge or evaluate what you can do in class. So a kind of the AI system, it's a very good tool for teachers to become a better teacher in class. So you can have a different perspective to look at the students. Of course, as a human teacher, we will, maybe deal with the students, you know more about them, effective-wise. But the system itself is really rational. It's, it's logical through all of the data they built in the database, and then they will provide you different perspective about understanding the students. So I just share with you that knowledge points. For example, if we're going to learn like 50 knowledge points, some students can master maybe 94%. These are so-called super students in class. For some teachers, because the super students in class are maybe not too many, so you can know more about them. But even though with the so-called super students in class, not a single student will have the same strengths and weaknesses. Talking about like maybe in general, not 80% of the students in your class. So sometimes the lesson plan and activity design was well designed for most of the students and not every student. For some super students, maybe they were idle in class because they already know the knowledge points you want to teach them. But for most of them, maybe you will have 20 or 40 of them, but hardly teachers can remember all of the strengths and weaknesses for each student. So, but the data itself, the system can. So the system can, collect all of the data and do the analysis for you teachers. And sometimes we will have so-called slow learners in class. Most of the slow learners that I interview, you won't see sparkles in their eyes. Sometimes they feel not that confident. But for teachers, we love to help them, but where to start? So they have so many they cannot master. So sometimes if we throw out all of the questions to them, they will be just stunned over there. So you don't have time to wait for the students, like this. So you have to continue and push everyone to have the same speed on learning in one class. But however, in AI classroom, we can have a personalized, which is, exactly suitable for this individual student. So we know, the system will know what, they are weak at. So they will provide the questions for them to practice. So sometimes when we see a student cannot solve one question, it's not like it's throwing, teach them everything, but also it's not always from the beginning. For some slow learners, when I interview them, say, human teachers might know you more because you communicate. But however, it doesn't matter how hard we try, hardly we can understand from every aspect. So by the AI, test, so we will evaluation, we will know maybe their strength, their weaknesses are. So when I interview the slow learners, they will say, I communicate with the teachers, but somehow the teachers say, because you need to start from whatever, however, you need to start from the very beginning. But as all we know that all of the teachers maybe, we will have our own teaching style or teaching logic, so we will always start from our beginning, so we have to go through the same process once again. But we have to think about one thing. When we say student center, what do we mean by student center? So do we really respect, the learner itself? So when we, see learning itself, we have to look at, student, as a center. So it's not what we think the students have to learn. It's the students themselves need to learn. So in one class, we will see, even with one knowledge points, for example, the cube root, we will see different students spend different time. For example, maybe some students will spend 150 seconds. Some students will spend 570 students, which means that they have different speed. Their mastery about the knowledge points are entirely different. So the system itself might provide similar questions for students who use 570 seconds on this. Even though they're all right about this answer, but their mastery will be different. So according to the analysis, we might still provide not the same question, but similar question in order to figure out, is it true, is it real that the student do master about the knowledge points? And even with one student, for some super student, it doesn't mean that they're good in every way. So from our database, interesting and surprisingly, the system from the data analysis, we see that some so-called slow learners, they can do a very outstanding job, which is super students cannot. So sometimes, from our understanding, we might have a prejudice, but we want to deny or we don't want to see our prejudice, but sometimes we do. So we will consider that maybe you cannot do it. So from the analysis report, we started to have a different view about what we look at the students. And one very important thing about the system is that for some students, they will confront challenges while maybe, for example, they have problem in solving math problems in grade 8. But however, does it mean that, their real problem falls on grade 8 math? Actually, maybe not. So we will trace back and keep tracking what their weaknesses are. So eventually we might find out that their real causes of the problem of their learning does not fall on grade 8, it's on grade 6. So we will go back and fix and try to help the students. The system will trace back to grade 6 math learning and let them trying to master the knowledge points in grade 6 and then come back to grade 8. So it's building up a better foundation for all of the students. Sometimes we want to solve problems, but we have to figure out the real causes of the problems. So the nanoscale knowledge points split become very important. We can see that maybe according to the curriculum, we will see in grade 7 math, we will have 300 knowledge points split. But however, company like Alex in US, they will break into 3,000 knowledge points, but for us, we break into 30,000 knowledge points or more. The reason why we are doing this, we want to have an even detailed understanding about the knowledge point state of the students. The second one is that talking about decomposing, we have a very different, function in the system. We call it MCM. It's guided by Tom Mitchell right now. And this is a mode of thinking, capacity, and methodology. I will explain a little bit more about this tomorrow morning session because it's a little bit complicated, but I will try to explain a little bit easier. For example, we all have different mode of thinking. For example, we want to win the war, so we will develop a strategy. So we know what to think in order to win the war. But it doesn't mean that we have capacity to fight in the field. So when we go to the field, it doesn't mean we have to use the weapons that we have in hand. Because when you see your enemy holding like a gun, you won't use the knife to fight. So the methodology will change, according to the situations. So by AI system, what we have here is not, the main purpose for us is not to train the students to master all of the knowledge points only. It's that cultivating the students to have the ability to solving problems in life is the main point. So eventually we're thinking about AI system can help us to, teach, smarter, and learn smarter. But eventually we're thinking about if all the students can learn the knowledge points even better, but however, the ideal situation is that they can forget all about the knowledge points, but they still can survive and be successful in their life, okay? So it's about independent thinking. For example, like leverage in physics, we all know that. But however, how do we leverage this knowledge points in our daily life, in work and in business? And the third one is about probability of relevance and of non-relevant knowledge components. This is also, I will try to explain it this way. For example, from the database, of course, it has to be based on the big data. And for example, we found out that maybe for a student who know, the English spelling giraffe, this word, okay, the opportunity for them to know tiger, this word, maybe 65%. But for some student, if it happens they know hippopotamus, this English word, and then the opportunity for them to know tiger, this word, the opportunity will go higher to maybe 90%. It's not a linear learning content, but somehow it's not relevant, but however it's relevant, okay. All right. It's a little bit difficult to explain and understand, but however, I will try, okay? Try to make it easier, okay? And the Scroll AI system, we have another function. It's about self-evolving model. It's, of course, based on big data analysis. We will have like a analysis report which recommend and suggest that you can do this and that. But however, thinking about using game, so when we see like computer games, and if we face combat, team A and team B, they keep like fighting each other, okay, back and forth. But maybe they will struggle and stuck there. But however, maybe through many times of exercise and practice, it seems the system itself will evolve and go to a higher level in order to break through and to fight and win. So same thing in learning system. So through the learning system, a lot of practice and exercise itself, the system will evolve itself in order to provide an even better solution for students' learning. Talking about mistake reasoning, we're teachers, right? So when we see, oh, you're wrong about this, so you practice again. But we know that maybe 2,000 of students answer it wrong, but it doesn't mean the reasons for them to make it wrong will be the same. So we're trying to figure out why they make mistake. So this is a math question, and I will give you the answers just like here, but for us, we will try to figure out and categorize all of the answers into maybe this question we categorize into 22 reasons. So 22 mistakes, which means there are more than 22 reasons why they mistake. So this is according to the data analysis, but however, we will even call the teachers and call the students to see and interview them why. Sometimes the students are sick, sometimes maybe they just lack of concentration or lack of understanding. This is the 24 reasons why they make mistake. We have some experiment and results. Maybe I would like to say that teachers don't panic. This is just experiment. But however, we want to see the result, how good it can be to help the teachers. So we have competition of human and AI competition. We have up to five, okay? I would like to mention the first one. We have like a human team and AI team. So the result itself, it seems that we can have higher, result. But it's not only the result itself, the score, but also the content. Content-wise, within the same time, the students can even learn more, okay? And this is the testimony that the result, of course, there are many, but to show a little bit. So the reason why we dedicate ourselves into, AI system is that it's not the result we expect. Of course, it doesn't matter what kind of method you use, we expect the students to be excellent. But however, we want to see confidence, we want to see hope from the students' eyes, that what we value even more. So we hope that maybe we can be more efficient using lesser time to get better results, and so we can have time for lives. Okay, that's my sharing. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Outside the choral room. And now we will break for the catalytic sessions. We have 3 as a little. So to all those people who are sitting in black chairs,